So unsurprisingly, some details are coming out about Trump's scamming of his own supporters. So Trump is a thief, he's a scammer, he's a con artist. That's, basically his middle name. And so essentially what he did here was he scammed his supporters in raising money to try to save, quote unquote, save the election. And so what this article here over on The Hill explains is, it says Trump campaign RNC refund donors another $12.8 million in 2021. It says former President Trump's campaign and the Republican Party returned around $12.8 million to donors in the first 6 months of 2021, the New York Times reported. It was previously reported in April that Trump's reelection campaign had refunded around $122 million to donors in 2020. Recently released federal records have revealed that the Trump campaign has so far returned $135 million to campaign donors. That's a lot of money. Shortly before Election Day last year, Trump's campaign made recurring payments the default option on its donation website, meaning that people had to uncheck the option to avoid being charged weekly. Wow, being charged weekly? I've never even heard of campaign recurring donation that's weekly. This guy's taking scamming to a whole nother level. Typically if you go to like Act Blue or somewhere to donate to a political candidate, typically the recurring option is monthly. Trump's like, no, it's not enough to pre-check the monthly recurring option scam. If that's not enough to scam them, I need to quadruple that and make it so that it's a recurring 4 times. It says the Times found that the campaign had attempted to obscure this detail by placing it in the fine print beneath multiple lines of bolded and capitalized text. The campaign also added a second pre-checked box that doubled the donor's donation, along with new lines of text that distracted readers from what they were agreeing to. Holy shit! This is a whole nother level of scamming. It's like a 7-layer cake or something. It's just like scam, 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 except it's going up every time. Trump's reelection campaign reportedly withdrew more than $3,000 in less than a month from one donor who was in hospice care and had donated $500 in September. It says the Federal Election Commission unanimously voted in May to recommend that Congress ban campaigns from pre-checking boxes, as the Trump campaign did. The Times noted that other GOP lawmakers, including former Republican Georgia Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue, also used pre-checked boxes in their respective re-election campaigns. Shortly after the FEC's recommendation was made, Senate Democrats introduced a bill to ban the practice of pre-checking boxes for recurring campaign donations. So, it says it's pretty clear that the Trump campaign was engaging in deceptive tactics. Peter Loge, director of the Project on Ethics and Political Communication at George Washington University, told the Times, if you have to return that much money, you are doing something either very wrong or very unethical. So, definitely is pretty insane that he had to return more than 10% of how much he made. That's a fuck ton of money. In 2020, $122 million was refunded. Biden had, something like 2% total of how much, 2% of the donations that were returned. Trump had 10%. So it's insane. Over $122 million refunded because he was scamming so hard that the FEC, the Federal Elections Commission, had to step in. And this is the guy that's supposed to, quote unquote, stop the steal, or he's going to drain the swamp. It's hilarious. This guy is the biggest scammer and con artist. And the hilarious part is he fucks his own supporters over the most, because the people he's not scamming are the people that already know he's a bullshitter, right? But the people who he's fucking over are his own supporters. And his supporters, they won't, even if you were to show them this, they'd be like, no, Trump is still the GOAT. He's the great white hope or whatever. They still wouldn't care, wouldn't change them. But this is absolutely insane just to see the level of scamming. You're talking about pre-checking a recurring donation box. Not only are you pre-checking that box, which is super fucked up because it's going to mislead the people who are donating to you and going to have a high rate of people who don't uncheck the box. That should be something you have to check, not that's pre-checked. Not only that, The recurring payment was weekly, not monthly. I've never seen that in my entire life. It is not. The recurring is monthly, not weekly. That's insane that was even the setting. So, and then it's like bolded text to distract from asking for more money. Wow, this is freaking insane.